Hey everyone. I saw the new True Grit film, and I have the original True Grit film with me today. Um, True Grit is a new remake by the Cohen Brothers, and it was originally done by, let me see on my VHS tape here, Henry Hathaway. So Henry Hathaway did the original 1969 version, and the Coen Brothers did the new 2010 version. Um, True Grit is the story of a young girl who lives in the town, and her father was killed by an evil cowboy. And his name is Tom Shaney, and he works with a gang whose leader's name is Ned Pepper, I think. And she assigns the town sheriff, whose name is Rooster Cogburn. He's a man with true grit, meaning he's like a man with true spirit, true will, willing to do whatever it takes to stop an evil person. So that's why the movie's called True Grit. So Rooster Cogburn is assigned to find this Tom Cheney for this young girl. She's willing to pay him money, and on their way there, um, while Rooster Cogburn's looking for this criminal, he meets a Texas Ranger whose name is LaBeef, I think. Um, at least that's what he's known by in this town or this Texas area at least. And they're looking for Tom Cheney and this Ned Pepper. And this young girl is on the quest with them. At first, they don't want her to join the quest, but she joins them anyway. And they hunt down these two evil cowboys. And since they're good cowboys who are willing to do anything to make sure that this local area is safe, they're willing to hunt down these two men. Um, and that's pretty much all I can get storyline wise without ruining both versions of the story. Um, but for the most part, this video is going to be about a comparison. I'm going to compare these two films without ruining them. At least I'm trying. I'm going to try not to ruin these films for you. Um, so the original True Grit. Um, John Wayne was Rooster Cogburn. Glenn Campbell was the LaBeouf character I told you about, and Kim Darby was this girl's name was Maddie Ross, by the way, and Kim Darby played Maddie Ross. Um, on the back here, that's John Wayne as Rooster Cogburn, and that is Kim Darby as Maddie Ross. I unfortunately do not have the remake here with me. It's still in the theaters when I filmed this video. It came out on December 22nd at all public theaters. It's PG-13, so it's not too violent, but then again, it's not really for kids either. Um, Believe it or not, the original True Grit was rated G. I personally think it should have been PG-13 also, but um, I wasn't a part of the rating system when it came out. But what the biggest difference between both films is, I think the original is, you see, one thing I noticed about the original compared to the remake is in the original you actually see everything that went on, even if it went way, way before or way, way after the story. Like, for example, in the first film you actually see Tom Cheney kill Maddie Ross's father. In the remake, the film begins with a flashback in Maddie Ross's head and she's even the narrator as the story as an older woman too for this movie, and she's having a flashback of her father getting killed by Tom Cheney, and you see him just right away. You don't even see him in the shot exactly. You just see her dead father lying there next to this house, and it's kind of like this golden color to represent like this memory, and that's the remake. The endings for both films are completely different too. I'm not going to tell you them, but I will tell you that they are completely different from one another. Um, for me personally, I liked Jeff Bridges, who was Rooster Cogburn in the remake. I think he was a better Rooster Cogburn. I thought he was more. There was more interesting aspects to his character almost. John Wayne was just kind of like, "Yeah, I'm a drunk guy. I'm the town sheriff, and drink away. I'm gonna catch this Tom Cheney and Ned Pepper and all that." Um, what made Jeff Bridges so good as Rooster Cogburn, though, is not only did he do what John Wayne did, he did it even better than John Wayne. Like, for example, if he was drunk, he would be funny while he was drunk to keep you entertained as the audience. And he would, when he had to do something, that required somebody to be tough, he was tough. I felt that Jeff Bridges' character was a little bit more protective of Maddie Ross than John Wayne's character was. Um, Another big difference is in both films there's a snake pit scene. And by that I mean there's a scene where Maddie Ross gets stuck in like a snake cave. And the biggest difference between both films is in the first film you just see the snake right there in front of her, and it's just one snake and she gets bitten by it. And so Rooster Cogburn has to save her in one scene with that. In the remake, she's in this cave like the first film, but the biggest difference is rather than seeing a snake right next to her, she sees a corpse of somebody who died from one of the snakes in the cave. She pulls him away for some weird reason, I guess to find some support to get her back out of the cave. Turns out in the middle of this corpse, there's four snakes. There's four snakes in this version, and so they all come after her. And Rooster Cogburn shoots them all, and he's able to save her. So hopefully I didn't ruin anything, but that's what happened. It's storyline wise, it doesn't really ruin anything. It's just an event that happened in both films. Um, Barry Pepper, who was in Flags of Our Fathers and Saving Private Ryan, he plays Ned Pepper in the remake. Josh Brolin from No Country for Old Men and Wall Street 2, he plays Tom Chaney in the remake. So yeah, the remake had a lot more celebrities, but then again, Robert Duvall was Ned Pepper in the original. Robert Duvall was in like The Road and To Kill a Mockingbird and a lot of other famous films. Um, so I guess celebrity-wise, would have to go to the remake. But then again, there are some people out there who like films that don't have a lot of celebrities. So if you're that kind of a person, you might like the original a little bit better. Um, I think the biggest compliment I have about the remake, and I think that's why the critics love that one more than the original, is in the remake, there's a lot more significance, in my opinion, at least. And the first one was just like, well, we just so happened to kill these two guys for this girl, and the day is saved, and this town doesn't have to worry about these two criminals anymore. In the remake, there's a significance to everything. There's a significance why Rooster is single, why he's a drunk. There's a significance why LaBiff is kind of this young, um, kind of thinks he's bigger than life type of a person. There's a reason behind that. Um, they do something with LaBiff in the remake that I think is kind of interesting to kind of keep you thinking at the end of the film that they didn't do in the original. Um, I just thought the remake was a lot better. It was more fun to watch. Um, each scene that happened in the first film was in the remake, but it was done in a more interesting way. Um, I guess one of the biggest things that I can name without ruining the film for everybody who hasn't seen either version is in the remake. This was also in the original, but it was more fun in the remake. Is Maddie Ross, the main girl, goes to a salesman for horses or something near the beginning of the film, and the sales part of it is really really funny. It kind of reminds me of the scene from No Country for Old Men where um, Josh Brolin is talking to a security guard and he's trying to get back into the U.S. and they're kind of messing around with each other and they're giving each other crap and everything, and a deal does happen eventually, but they both get off topic and it's really really funny, and something similar happens in the remake. But overall, I liked both versions of the film, but quite honestly, I like the Coen Brothers remake, the new one that's out in theaters right now. I like that one a lot better. Um, the original, obviously, a lot of John Wayne fans are going to love it better. I saw it with my father. He is a huge John Wayne fan, and he still liked the original better, even though there was a lot of aspects about the new film that he liked. I remember him telling me that he didn't like Jeff Bridges' accent, but then again, he's trying to act like he was in the Old West, so that's why he did that. Um, I don't know if John Wayne used an accent or not. I don't think he did. I think he was kind of every cowboy back then. So I guess then again, I think people were used to seeing him talk that way, maybe. So I don't know. I wasn't around in 1969, so I don't know. Um, True Grit overall is a great story. The remakes, I personally feel is better, and I hope everybody who does see it thinks it's better also. But then again, there's a lot of John Wayne fans out there, so we have to respect them. I think out of everybody who could have remade this film, I'm glad the Coen Brothers got to remake it. Great movie. Everybody should see it. Even if you don't like westerns, this is one of those movies where it's so good it'll get you into westerns. See the New True Grit, and if you have time, maybe see the original. It helped me a little bit through the remake of storyline wise, but overall the remake is better. So if you see one of those two films, make sure it's the remake.